The 14th of every year has become a ritual for the indigenous people of Biafra, but particularly for my own family, because that was the very day we lowered our parents. And ever since then, every 14th of every year, February, we will honor them. It's painful that my brother is not here, but then what can we do? I'm here, to make sure that family is fully represented. It wasn't easy, going back to their grave side, to pour libations, trying to remember what I would say should have been in the past. It was a very difficult one. As you may know, people came from all over Biafra land to honor that very occasion. And it's a ritual that we must keep doing until the end of time. They lost their lives for what they believe in. I keep saying it time and again. Their death wasn't natural. If not for the trauma, my parents would have still been alive today. But then they are gone. But we'll keep honoring them. My parents died as a result of Operation Python dance. And personally myself, I was also affected. I'm still living without trauma up until tomorrow. I know it's going to take the grace of God for it to leave me, so to speak. But Operation Python dance is something we'll never forget. It was planned by the security agent of Nigeria. What was more sad was that a lot of our people knew that Operation Python was going to take place in this place. We weren't informed, including the governor there and Okezi. They knew. Their whole target was to get Nnamdi Kanu to kill.
How do you know?
Of course, it's in the public domain. It's everywhere. It's in the public domain. There was a wider conspiracy to destroy my family. Every single person in that family. The instruction was let them go down. But of course, the thought of man is not the thought of God. As God would have it, we were able to escape it.
We're staying on judicial matters. Justice Binta Yanko of the Federal High Court has adjourned the trial of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, indefinitely. The hearing follows a 24th of September court order where Justice Yanko recused herself from the case. Now, at the resumed hearing, Justice Binta Yanko explained that when she withdrew from the case, she sent the files to the chief judge for it to be reassigned to another judge, but the files were sent back to her to continue with the case. Nnamdi Kanu insists the chief judge does not have the power to force any lawyer on a case and that the chief judge can only appeal the court order.
Listen.
Let's get more updates from the court. TVC News, Joke Adisa joins me on the news. Joke, I mean, this particular case, Nnamdi Kanu's trial has been stuck at the point where Binta Yanko has had to recuse herself and it's been back and forth on that particular matter. Just give us a brief background as to, how they got to this point.
She granted that order. So she did revert to the chief judge so at the end of the day, the chief judge, of course, did rule that did say that Mr. Kanu will have to come by way of a formal application, and so that he will state reasons for is wanting the Justice Binta Yanko to recuse herself from that case. And so that is where we were today. So when the case came up today, it was a whole lot of exchange of words from Mr. Nnamdi Kanu and the court. So that was what we saw at today's proceedings.
And we also understand, I know you already started touching on it, just tell us more about it, the fact that the chief judge is also now being accused of bias as well.
Yes, with what we saw today, it will take the court, of course, some time to actually know what to do with this case, with what has happened, because the implication now is that Mr. Kanu will have to be in custody of maybe of the DSS or even of correctional service for a long time. But of course, he has insisted that the court does this indefinitely. Of course, means that that case is nowhere.
I mean, the word there is indefinitely, which means that there is no date to look forward to. Thank you so much for the update. We'll continue to see how this progresses. Our senior reporter live for us in the nation's capital, Joke Adisa.
Good afternoon, my people. Welcome to Local Matter. Another breaking news don't deal like this. So, the decision of Supreme Court to adjourn the case of Nnamdi Kanu indefinitely. Now, the world decision, we say they don't ever make. Oh, they arrested this guy illegally, and this guy has been detained since for the past so many years. Instead of them to release this guy, they don't want to release this guy. They don't carry politics enter inside the matter. Oh, the question I want to ask, we say now when Biafra don't come, say they no go agree again, and they want to release this guy. I be how they want to do the matter. So, Mona watch this video. Mona hear waiting this guy talk for inside this video. And if today will be the first time where they come across this channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that whenever we drop another video, now you go be the first person we go see and move.
Very quickly, it appears the southeastern governors are saying that the holding of Nnamdi Kanu is the reason why insecurity in the southeast is prevalent. Now, from your point of view, is it that the governors in the southeast cannot, as a matter of urgency, put together a mechanism to ensure peace in their region? Why are they hinging the peace of the southeast to the release of Nnamdi Kanu? Are they not supposed to have the priority to safeguard their states as governors elected by the people?
Well, Mark, just like the other colleagues mentioned in the studio, this thing for me, I look at it differently. The case of Nnamdi Kanu is politically motivated. If you look at how this whole thing started, Nnamdi, in the first place, his claiming leadership of the outlawed indigenous people of Biafra. And as you know, any attempts to, infiltrate or maybe undermine the unity and integrity of any nation, I don't think the nation on its own will stand by idly, for people to take laws in their hands. So that is why, this case, there is a lot of back and forth on this issue. Well, if you look at the charges, about 15, which was, brought before him, Justice Binta Nyanko amended it, and there were a 7-count charge against Nnamdi Kanu. But for me personally, I look at these issues as something that can be, resolved. What do I mean? Nnamdi Kanu at this point has not owned up to say, okay, what I did actually in the context of it all is wrong. And at the same time, the Southeast governors, they are playing hide and seek. They are not united in the common front to pursue this matter in a way that it can be resolved politically, because it's a state offense. And for Justice Binta Nyako to recuse herself from this case shows that she's under pressure to take a decision. And remember, Nnamdi Kanu was still, on bench warrant when he was, arrested and brought back to Nigeria because he jumped bail. So it is, pertinent on the federal government and at the same time the Southeast governor to sit down round table and find a political situation around this. Otherwise, this case, I think it could lead to something else, and it could still lead to this breakdown of law and order in the Southeast.
All right. Now, before we ride off from this topic, in a few seconds, what's your advice? Quickly.
The federal government should maybe have a more
concrete plan,
more concrete meetings actually with all the stakeholders, including Nnamdi Kanu himself, okay. And they should just cut a deal so that we'll have this in the review.
The federal government, ought to have just pursued this matter straight, and done with instead of this drama. The drama is really unnecessary. He was granted bail once, and then subsequently the army invaded his house and frustrated the bail. And so that, was a ground for even escaping. Eventually, when they arrested him, brought him to court, I remember even those that took him on bail, they were excused because the bail was frustrated by the army invading his house. Mm-hmm. So all of this attitude will lay credence to the fact that the federal government has not been fair. The agitations of Nnamdi Kanu is as a result of the imbalance, inequality, and injustice in the land. And so, once you address the imbalance, you address the inequality, you address, the hunger, unemployment, created by government ostentatious lifestyle and insensitivity on the part of government, agitations will naturally die down. So that is why I think government should not just be looking at the stick. They should also look at, take the blame in some cases, right. Look at what they have done to fund these embers, and by so doing, also listen to the plea and find a common ground to resolving all of these issues. Government should take the bigger blame.